Every man feels this truth before he understands it. The moment she posts you, but doesn't actually see you. That tiny fracture behind your ribs, that's identity pressure, not heartbreak. The air around you goes tight first. The way your jaw holds itself, the way your fingers stop moving, the way your breath shortens without permission. You know this is you. Because what I'm about to tell you is the part men try to swallow. Being shown to the world is not the same as being chosen in private. It never was, and it never will be. But here's what no one tells you. When a woman turns you into a display, you lose something deeper than dignity. You lose orientation. You become a shape she posts but never touches emotionally. If you misread this truth, life hits you hard, and that's when the air shifted. The first time you see yourself on her story, your shoulder, your jawline, your silhouette under neon lights, you feel something proud rise in your chest, and then something colder sink underneath it. Because every man senses it. There's a difference between being held and being advertised. But you don't name it. Not yet. You let the confusion sit like a quiet poison. The room held its breath. There's a curiosity lock that snapped closed around your mind. If she's proud enough to show me off, why does she feel so far away when the screen goes dark? That's the question no man escapes. That's the question that fractures your center if you ignore it. This is the moment most men never notice. It starts small, micro-level, psychological static. She posts your picture from the cafe, adds a heart emoji, tags you with a playful caption like, "My headache," and you feel your chest warm for half a second. But when you two walk home, she doesn't reach for your hand. She doesn't look at you unless you speak first. She's silent in the elevator. Her eyes stay glued to her notifications. Am I only visible when someone else is watching? Why do I feel more real on her screen than in her presence? That's identity dissonance. That's masculine fatigue. I'm tired of pretending men don't feel this, because every man does. You feel the emotional contradiction hit. You feel colder, but sharper, like something inside you is waking up while another part shuts down. It's the masculine instinct for self-preservation pushing against your need to be valued. You pretend not to notice the tension in the air, but your body does. Your shoulders stiffen. Your breath stays shallow. Your eyes track her reactions like a sensor scanning for closeness that never arrives. And the room felt different all of a sudden. It's when she laughs harder at the comments than she did at your actual jokes. It's when she takes photos with you but never asks how you've been sleeping. It's when she squeezes your arm for the camera but steps away from you the moment the shutter clicks. This is the personal battle. If you react wrong, get angry, get needy, get confused, you fracture internally. You start fighting yourself instead of the truth. And right when you think it's over, it isn't. Listen closely, because this is where identity splits. These are the truths men avoid because seeing them means something irreversible changes inside you. Throning is performative attachment. What I'm describing isn't modern dating, it's 2025 throning, the trend built on emotional economics. She elevates you publicly not because she loves you, but because you raise her perceived status. You become a piece of social architecture, an accessory with a heartbeat. The metaphor is surgical. You're the trophy she polishes for the shelf everyone sees but forgets to dust in private. Here's the delayed tension reveal. She doesn't post you because she's proud of you. She posts you because it makes her look like the kind of woman men want, and the silence changed before the truth did. Ignore this and the cycle traps you. You aren't her partner, you're her content. Notice how your chest tightened reading that, because you already sensed it. Every man who's been displayed but not held recognizes the pattern. She uses you as proof of desirability. She uses you to signal she can pull someone solid. She uses you as a stabilizer for her image, not as an emotional anchor. You'll replay this part without meaning to. The room held its breath again. Every moment with her becomes two moments. The real one and the one she's trying to capture. Only one of them matters to her, and it's never the real one. If you ignore this, you start dissolving quietly inside. Performative affection is a weapon of confusion. Here's the psychological cut. Women who rely on image-based validation give affection only when someone is watching. That's why she's warm on camera and distant in the dark. Why she touches your face in a selfie but turns away in bed. Why she calls you my man in captions but you're overthinking when you express pain. This is emotional misdirection, a loop designed to keep you grateful for scraps while believing they're meals. And then, the room felt different all of a sudden. You start doubting your own eyes, your own gut, your own worth. If you ignore this, time will choose for you. Men break more from visibility without intimacy than from rejection. Every man can survive being unseen, but being seen publicly and ignored privately, that's identity corrosion. That's self-worth erosion. That's the kind of damage that doesn't bleed, just sinks. Notice how your jaw clenched. That's the body recognizing betrayal before the mind does. And just when you thought the moment was done, it wasn't. Because here's what no one tells you. The real fracture appears later in the car ride home after the perfect date she posted online. Her screen lights up like fireworks. Your face reflects in the window, not in her eyes. You sit beside her, invisible in real time but trending in her story. Delayed tension finally snaps open. You're not her partner. You're her prop. If you ignore this insight, nothing recalibrates, and you stay trapped in a relationship built on pixels instead of presence. Every man reaches this point, the quiet internal threshold where you stop trying to decode her and start trying to recover yourself. Masculine clarity doesn't come from strength. It comes from exhaustion so deep, you finally tell yourself the truth without negotiation. Now you see what most men hide from. Because here's the part no one warns you about. Leaving a woman who posts you but never sees you doesn't feel like a breakup. It feels like removing a mirror that only reflected the version of you she needed for her audience. And when that mirror shatters, you see everything she kept you from noticing. This is the moment most men never notice. But you're here now, so listen closely. There was a quiet second, and everything clicked. You realize her affection had timestamps. You realize her warmth had spectators. You realize her validation was borrowed, not earned. You realize every cute couple moment was a scene, not a memory. And underneath all of it, you realize something darker. She liked the idea of being seen with you more than the reality of being with you. The room felt different all of a sudden. You exhale, slow, uneven, the kind of breath your body releases only when it stops pretending. This is the psychological decompression after months of being emotionally mispositioned. You know this is you, because when a man stops being used as content, he meets a quieter version of himself, one that's bruised but honest, one that remembers he deserves to be chosen privately, not displayed publicly. But here's what no one tells you. The healing doesn't start instantly. It starts when the silence around you finally becomes louder than the noise she kept you inside. And just when you thought the moment was done, it wasn't. You were never losing her. You were losing the illusion. Every man clings to the performance because the performance feels good. But the moment you sit alone in your room and the absence hits, you notice something. You don't miss her voice. You miss the idea of not being alone. You miss the fantasy she crafted, not the reality she gave. You'll replay this part without meaning to. Notice how your breathing shifted. Slower, heavier, more grounded. That's your nervous system recalibrating now that it's not performing for her optics. Ignore this, and time will choose for you. Real connection requires presence, not proof. Every man who's been throned learns this late. If she needs the world to witness you, she never valued you. Women who love privately love deeply. Women who love publicly but act cold in private don't love. They market. The silence changed before the truth did. And once you accept that, something inside you tightens, then releases. That's the armor growing back, the structure returning, the identity settling. You felt colder, but sharper. Your worth was never in her display of you. This is the suppressed truth men don't say out loud. You feel more masculine when you're not being measured by how postable you are. You feel more human when you're valued without documentation. You feel more alive when someone looks at you to understand you, not to frame you. I deserve to be seen in the dark. I wasn't asking for much, just presence. Now you see what most men hide from, and then the air shifted one last time. Because here's the quiet victory. When she loses a prop, she looks for a replacement. But when a man stops being a prop, he becomes a person again. Your absence teaches what your presence couldn't. She will scroll through her old posts. She will see your arm, your jawline, your silhouette. She will remember how good the photos looked. But she will not remember what your presence felt like, because she never paid attention to it. That's the punishment built into performative affection. They lose the image when they lose the man. And right when you think it's over, it isn't. Because the real ending isn't her regret. It's your return to yourself. The room held its breath. And you know exactly when it happens that moment you sit in a car alone, the same way you used to beside her. But this time, the silence doesn't crush you. It frees you. You lean back, you close your eyes, you exhale like you've been underwater for months. This is the needle drop effect. You were never hard to love. She was incapable of depth. If you avoid this insight, nothing recalibrates. Masculine recovery is not loud. It's not triumphant. It's not cinematic in the way people imagine. It's a slow build. A man rebuilding the parts of himself that were dimmed, blurred, or used as decor. You know this is you, because now you understand the difference between visibility and intimacy, between being chosen and being displayed, between being loved and being leveraged. And the moment that hits, your identity shifts permanently. This is the part you always hide. This is the part that hurts the most. This is the part that frees you. Now you see what most men hide from. Remember the car ride home and how quiet it really was. You'll replay this without choosing to. Now breathe. Exhale. You survived the performance. You stepped out of the frame. You reclaimed the man behind the image. Say what hit you first, because if even one part of this felt like your life, you and I are built from the same scars. Picture yourself standing in that quiet room, finally choosing strength. A silent nod of respect to you for noticing the truth most men die ignoring. If you ignore this, you repeat the same story with a different face.